So, Prince doesn't need AI, and I'm going to tell you why. This is Richard Cole. This is Amari Music Talk. Welcome to the show. If you're a long-time listener, welcome back. If you're new to the channel, if you like the content, then hit like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. If you are on Patreon, become a Patreon supporter, and you will get early access to episodes like this, as well as exclusive content. There is a special 7-day free access if you join at the $3, $5, and $10 level. And by all means, stick with it, because you can submit topics throughout the duration of your membership. If you would like a topic and want to be a co-host, join on those levels, and we will do an episode together. I'm probably going to run this pretty much through August, so join before August, maybe 8th or 9th, because we're going to be working on some other projects and may not be able to, say, fit at least the co-hosting part of it in. But yeah, if you join now, and we can get some stuff done this summer. But if nothing else, you will get your topic turned into a complete episode. So by all means, and only you will get to see it on Patreon, and all the other Patreon supporters as well. So with that out of the way, back to Prince doesn't need AI. And I mean, for the last 6 months or so, AI has made this quantum leap into the mainstream, to where I think the way that we're thinking about it, the way that we're talking about it, the way that it's being used currently, I don't think we were expecting it for at least another 5, 10 years maybe. But it's made this quantum leap, and now we have it now, and we don't know where it's going. Is this a force for good? Is it a force for evil? Again, energy can't be created or destroyed. It's what you do with it. It's how you manipulate it. So we hope that there's more uses for good, but there are some downsides to it. But I've noticed, I think where it's started to gain this popularity, or we're starting to see how this can be utilized, is the many cover versions of songs done by artists. The first time I took notice of how this is taking a quantum leap, I was just scrolling through YouTube one day, and somebody posted they created this AI version of Elvis singing Queen's Crazy Little Thing Called Love. And I mean, it sounds just like Elvis doing that. Crazy little thing called love. There goes my baby. It's, I was like, whoa. And then I think like the next thing was, I think immediately after that, the next thing I saw on YouTube was they had an adult Michael Jackson singing Never Can Say Goodbye, but kind of arranged sort of like post bad Michael Jackson, bad era Michael Jackson. Just his, vocal intonations, how he sings as an adult versus how he performed the song at, 12 or 13, or whenever they recorded that one. That was mind-blowing. And since then, like I said, it's just been these many covers. The thing that I'm starting to have a pet peeve about now is that they're creating these where they have John Lennon or Paul McCartney singing every song imaginable, whatever song you could think of, whether it's from the 1930s, or whether it's the Sex Pistols or the Oasis, the cover, have John and Paul doing that. But the one thing I do enjoy are these sort of imaginary Beatles reunions, you know, where they're taking solo Beatles songs and creating these, you know, versions where it's the Beatles playing in, you know, their individual musical styles, creating background vocals where they might have put those in if they recorded, say, Ringo's "It Don't Come Easy" in there, or like I said, the way the Beatles might have played Imagine, you know, just their style of, you know, so there are people putting a lot of thought into those. I want to put together like a compilation and do my own sort of fantasy Beatles reunion with that, but those I find fascinating. And there's also coming later this year a brand new Beatles song, you know, where Paul McCartney announced that with AI they can take one of the tapes with John Lennon, one of his demos that they were trying to work on but couldn't finish because of the technology at the time, in the 90s. They did release two, Free as a Bird and Real Love, and those came out to me well, considering, you know, the technology available in 1995. So, you know, so they were able to fly John's voice in and do things and isolate the vocals. It wasn't perfect, but again, not bad for 1995. But now with this AI, there was a third song that they were going to do, but George Harrison was like, you know, it's too much. It's not working for him. You know, the recording was too much of a mess to do anything with. But now with this AI, and there's plenty of videos that talk about the difference between what the Beatles are doing versus what everybody on YouTube is doing with this AI. They're not recreating John's voice. They're basically taking existing material and cleaning it up. And by cleaning it up, they can make a better recording and finish this. And, you know, we'll get to hear it, you know, at the end of the year sometime, I guess. So it's these stories and these examples that has people up in arms. You know, you know, there are people that enjoy what's been produced, and there are people that think it's, you know, it's flying people in from the grave and stuff. I'm of two minds, but I think that if, you know, your respective estate gives permission, or if the artist is still alive, gives their permission to use their likeness. One example is that James Earl Jones has sold to Disney. I don't know what the amount is, but I'm sure James Earl Jones was well compensated. More money than he actually got for being the voice of Darth Vader. But Lucasfilm paid James Earl Jones for the rights to use his voice. So they've taken samples of his voice, and I think they've done this in the Obi-Wan series. They utilize those samples to create him saying, you know, the lines that they use in the Obi-Wan series, whatever, you know, the scripts. And, you know, it sounds like Darth Vader. You know, it works. But like I said, you know, James Earl Jones has sold the rights to that, and he gave his permission. And I think it's just so that, you know, if in, say, 2045, you know, they're still making Star Wars films, and you want to tell a story, and you want to use Darth Vader, then you can use, you know, the way that they can use this AI technology to go ahead and create James Earl Jones' voice to be Darth Vader. You know, unless that there's a mimic that's out there, you know, that's capable of, I find your lack of faith disturbing, you know, can pull that line off, then yeah, you can do that. But if they can't, and like I said, you know, it's 2050 or 2060, and they're still cranking out Star Wars films, the Star Wars series, and you want to do one about Darth Vader or using Darth Vader, then James Earl Jones is given permission to use his voice to do that. And I know I was reading a tweet from the actress Justine Bateman. She's a major, I don't know what you want to call it, an official or something. She's not the president of the Screen Actors Guild, but she has a prominent position in the Screen Actors Guild. And, you know, in solidarity with the writer's strike that's going on, because, you know, AI is a part of that discussion. You know, why hire human beings when studios can just utilize AI to create scripts? You know, that's something that can put a lot of good, talented people out of work. So if there's, you know, nothing in the contracts to compensate, but digressing, but in solidarity with the Writers Guild, a lot of the actors are in solidarity as well. And because Justine Bateman has this prominent position in the guild, some of the warnings is that AI has either negotiated with or are in negotiation with certain actors and actresses. She didn't name any names, but yeah, there are these discussions about using your likeness, using your voice, to do these AI digital recreations of you as the actor or actress. And whether, say, if a actor or actress decides, well, you know what, I don't want to do this script. You know, they get a script and like, well, I don't think I want to do that part. But, you know, the studio feels that that actor or actress can still do that part. Then by, again, this actor or actress selling their rights away to their likeness, then they could still use that likeness, you know, and say, well, of course, because this role fits that actor or actress. And now you can, you know, recreate that person digitally and make a movie. There's also things where, say, you can buy a Star Wars movie, you know, one of the original Star Wars movies, and you can digitally insert yourself. So if you want to be the role of Luke Skywalker, you can be the role of Luke, you know, digitally insert yourself into the movie. Or you can purchase, say, the likeness of a Harrison Ford or a Billy D. Williams, and, you know, create your own movie, you know, using AI. You know, you create a film and it's like, okay, well, I want, you know, this actor or this actress, and digitally insert them into your film. That, you know, it's, you know, the possibilities of this are endless. And again, you know, can this be used for good? Can this be used for bad? There are some downsides where they are taking samples of a person's voice. This isn't Hollywood, but just, you know, nefarious individuals. They can take your voice, and, you know, they've done these, like, these ransom schemes. Like, they digitally recreate the voice, and then you get a phone call like, hey, you know, and so somebody, you think your loved one's in danger, and then come to find out, you know, bring the money to this spot, and then, you know, they're out to get you. You know, so those are some dangerous things that can be done with AI. So, you know, we're kind of at this flashpoint of where AI is going to that next level. And again, I feel if you use it for good, there's a lot of good that you can do. Like I say, a lot of these people on YouTube that are recreating things, you know, they're not pressing CDs, they're not pressing albums and selling this stuff. You know, now if they get 1 million likes, then there's monetization involved. But then, as you know, maybe by next year, there may be something in place in copyright law that says, well, even though you created this and you're doing it for fun, you've got 1 million views on YouTube, You know, would you get hit with the copyright claim? You know, there's so many avenues that can be done with this. You know, where does it stop? But then there may be some individuals that may press up CDs and press up vinyl and put that stuff out. But you know, those are the dangers. But why Prince doesn't need AI? Well, first and foremost, and the most important reason, there's plenty of material in the vault. And I mean plenty of, you know, most of it is either finished or near finished. You know, you don't need AI to do it. And even this stuff, you know, that we have that are, you know, they're obviously demos. Like some of the stuff on Prince Originals, you know, of course, obviously that stuff is nowhere near being finished. Maybe the music part was good, but then, you know, it's Prince doing the guide vocals. So St. Paul or Sheila E. or Morris Day, you know, or Vanity, you know, just sings on top so they have a guide to know where to go with the song vocally. You know, but that's it. You know, those are just as satisfying. You know, you don't need AI to create that or recreate that. You know, there's enough that's in circulation, even as bootlegs, you know, that, you know, nobody needs to take Prince's voice and imagine, oh, what this would sound like on a, you know, let's hear Prince singing Glamorous Life. Well, we've got it. We don't need AI to do that. You know, it's released. Go buy originals. Go on streaming. Listen to originals. It's right there. You don't need AI to do that. I think that's the genius of Prince. It's already there. You know, and even if before then, even if it was circulating around the collectors, the bootleg collectors, it's there. We know what it sounds like. You know, Prince singing Jungle Love. We know what it sounds like. You know, and as, you know, time goes by and as we get even more releases, we'll know what they sound like. You know, we'll get Prince doing Screams of Passion. You know, we'll get Prince doing whatever he did for, you know, whatever artist cover. You know, we're going to get those things. And, you know, Prince was even, you know, while he was here, he was in control of his likeness, you know, his symbols, his voice. You know, he was always talking ownership. You know, even though like post 1995 he owned all his masters, by 2014 he got all of his masters, the classic 80s material stuff, control of those master recordings. And, you know, even though he didn't have a clear plan as to what to do with his vault, he was somebody that was outspoken against, you know, digitally altering your voice to create a new recording. Meaning that, you know, we're not going to see, you know, a Prince Cardi B collab or anything like that. You know, we're not going to see a Prince Bruno Mars / Justin Timberlake collaboration. You know, that's not going to happen. That was definitely against his wishes. You know, like I said, flying them in from the grave like that. He was against it. Like I said, I enjoyed the Beatles, The Free as a Bird. I enjoyed Real Love. Maybe not so much at the time when it was released, but there's a 2015 remix by Giles Martin that I enjoy. And if they use that AI to make even those two songs sound even better, in addition to that new Beatles song that they're talking about, you know, I'll enjoy it. You know, I do enjoy those things. And like I said, I do enjoy the fantasy Beatles reunions. But I mean, like I said, nobody's pressing CDs or vinyl and putting those out. You know, you can listen to them, make a playlist, and create your own fantasy album. But as far as, like I said, because this is not friend business, it's show business, then yeah, the money involved. Who gets that money? You know, if a major studio or a major record label decides, well, you want to recreate, you know, create a whole new Elvis album or create a whole new Michael Jackson album, and you just do it with AI, who gets that money? Do their estates get that, or are the estates giving their permission to do that? I know one of the freakiest things for me was watching the Billboard Awards, and they had Michael Jackson, the hologram, come out and sing "Slave to the Rhythm." That was in a way kind of creepy. That Escape album, as good as it was, where they took a lot of the Michael Jackson demos and they had like the top producers like Timbaland and Rodney Jerkins, a few other people, go in and remix those. And that album, it does sound like Michael Jackson recorded that yesterday. It's great, but yeah, it is kind of unsettling. I mean, even some of the John Lennon stuff, the Beatles stuff that people have been dropping. Free as a Bird was a little unsettling. I mean, I enjoyed the track a bit. I enjoyed Escape too, but yeah, sometimes it gets a bit much. It gets a bit heavy. But again, you know, Prince was one of those, he definitely vetoed that decision during his lifetime. Like, hey, there's enough stuff in the vault that you can enjoy. You know, there's no need to, again, you know, fly him in and, you know, take one of his songs and take the hook and fly it into a Beyonce record or something like that. There's no need for it. But that's, to me, why Prince doesn't need or ever will have the need for AI. Like I said, there's so much to look forward to. You know, we've barely gotten started with a lot of the releases that we do have, whether it's originals or the Piano and the Microphone 1983, 1999 Super Deluxe, Welcome to America. We got a whole album back, you know, a couple of years ago that we have never heard before. And it didn't need any AI. It just needed to be mixed, mastered, packaged, and released. You know, signed, sealed, delivered. You know, and like I said, going forward. Now, you know, if there are some Prince demos where the quality is bad, you know, so bad, in that case, I can see, yes, go ahead, use AI to clean that stuff up and make it sound as studio quality as possible. So that way, you know, you're getting your money's worth. Now, again, we'll be glad to have the tape hiss and have to turn it up, you know, because it's the only recording that exists. But yeah, I would say if that's the only reason to use it in that regard. But again, like I said, you know, recreating like AI Prince songs, you know, just out of AI thin air. To me, I don't think that's necessary, you know, to do that. And again, you know, there's plenty of material that we're going to be getting for decades to come that we've never heard. And like I said, unless it's a crappy tape demo from 1976, then yeah, in that case, clean that up. But everything else, we're good. But what do you think? Do you think that AI is a good thing? Do you think it's a bad thing? How do you think it plays into the music business or the movie business? You know, would it be fun to create your own digital representations, both sonically and visually, of your favorite singer or actor or actress? Leave me a comment and let me know your thoughts. And once again, thanks for tuning in. And again, hit like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, become a Patreon supporter. And until next time, create your day, create your life. Peace.